Okay, so this is the fourth time now that I've tried to record this. Um, this video is going to be me going over my first week here at the CSX REDI Center. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really tired when I'm filming this because it is 2:26 a.m. on a Sunday now. And oh, look. I accidentally took a nap earlier, and then now I'm not tired at the right time, and it's a whole thing, alright? But let me tell you, I just completed my first week, and feel really good about it, honestly. A lot of the guys in my class are taking it real serious, which helps. I think day one, I put together a small study group, and it turned into a fairly large study group. But most of the guys, they'll show up uh, day before tests, and we'll go over stuff and or in quizzes too. They're different, but still. Our first test is on Monday. Quizzes 1 and 2 were this past week, and on quiz 1, did good. I mean, as good as I could have. I got 100 on it. Quiz 2, I got a 97, which means I missed one fucking question. I don't even want to talk about it. It was so stupid. Something about before, at least in the handbrakes on a cut of cars, you gotta make sure they're coupled to the locomotive, and I just, for some reason, assumed that they were coupled to the locomotive. So I was like, well, that's a stupid answer. Of course they're coupled to the locomotive. You can't release handbrakes if they're not properly coupled to the locomotive. And I overthought it. It was just, they gotta be coupled to the locomotive. But yeah, I got 97 on that. The hard stuff was not bad. I mean, we've gone outside a couple times to do a couple basic stuff, mounting, dismounting tank car, doing the ladder hang test. We got to go watch some trainees that were a couple weeks ahead do some moves out in the yard. That was cool. And what else? I mean, we've gone over a lot of stuff. So I'm going to go over some of the basics that we've gone over so far. This is my notebook. It's about half full now. It's been a week. It's not a big notebook by any means, but generally, it's front and back the entire time. Um, it's a lot, but it's doable. I went through almost all of this yesterday. Honestly, a lot of the stuff the first day is like pay, ethics, basic safety stuff, HR kind of stuff. Makes sense. Let's see. We went over stuff for air hoses, end of train devices, switches, um, basic, like safety protocols, like 3-step protection, mounting and riding processes, exceptions for industries. We got coupling, kicking cars, utility employees, and that was all of quiz 1, essentially. Like, that's pretty much all we did for quiz 1. Quiz 2, which quiz 1 was on Wednesday, by the way. So Monday, you went over a little bit of material. Not very much of it was on quiz 1. Tuesday was pretty much all classwork, and Wednesday morning was the quiz. So, like, it was mostly just Tuesday. Quiz 2 stuff. Wednesday after the quiz went over like hours of service kind of stuff, which a lot of us kind of knew before coming in because it's kind of important to know, and a lot of people talk about it online. Some basic vocab on here like called and relieved, deadhead, combination deadhead, live on time, stuff like that. Let's see, we got handbrake stuff. We got shoving and pushing movements, which is it's backing up. If you don't know, shoves are backing up. Um, let's see. There's a lot to do with like shoves and stuff. There's a lot of exceptions, a lot of little baby rules and stuff. Let's see. We got clearance points, clearance of switches, securing equipment. That's a lot of other handbrake kind of stuff, and paperwork like job aid forms. Uh, Another thing of like safety stuff and the info you need to do a shoving movement. Um, we also, this is kind of more recent stuff, so this would be Thursday, I think, is when we did this one. We got like train speed restrictions for certain car types, like hazardous materials. We got like cars prone to shaking. You got limitations there, stuff like that. Ranking crew member stuff, tonnage graphs. Oh man, let me tell you about. Okay, so Friday. Friday was paperwork day. Okay, okay. It's a paperwork packet. This has all of the types of like real railroad paperwork you would have. Um, this is a tonnage graph. Actually, what I was just talking about. This is a tonnage graph. So this shows. I'm not gonna get too close here. This shows all of your cars in your train on all these pages here, right? So in this one, it has 169 cars. And then you have these codes on the side. That's for special instruction. And all this stuff is a key to tell you what that means. Um, like the 9250 is like hazmat stuff, right? 9251 is like the bad hazmat stuff. That one's toxic inhalation stuff. And there's certain restrictions with that, like the toxic inhalation stuff. Just having one toxic inhalation makes you a key train, whereas if you have a Group E hazmat car, one of those does not necessarily make you a key train. Now, if you had I think it's 30 or more of those, it does make you a key train. So there's a lot of stuff. We get car doors. Certain car doors don't have to necessarily be closed to move them. But they do have to be closed to like add cars to your train or to leave like a customer's facility or a yard. You have certain cars that can't be kicked or put in a hump yard. So you have rules for those too. Identifying ends of cars. Bunch of hazmat stuff. Then you got clearance bureau stuff. So that's clearance implicated shipments is stuff you would contact the clearance bureau over. It's like any cars that need special handling for the most part. It's like I think our biggest example was like if it's really heavy, right? If it's overweight, you need to contact the clearance bureau or customer service for it. So there's a lot to go over here. We're almost 10 minutes in, so I'm trying to get through this quick. This is a good review for me too, even though I'm going to study in like 11 hours. We got some pay info stuff, how to claim pay. Claiming pay at the REDI Center is actually something that's interesting, and you'll learn about it if you're shipping out there. But apparently it's very different from how you claim pay on the road. But we've done that. We've claimed our mileage for getting here. They overpay the fuck out of you for getting down here, let me tell you. Yeah, they pay a lot of money. Pay a lot of money for that. There's a lot of specific rules for locking down like key trains and all that stuff, radioactive. Like they have classes for all of the hazmat stuff. They have classes for a lot of it. And I want to make sure here, because if a coworker finds this and then they find any information that's wrong, then I'm gonna have to hear about it, and it's gonna be a whole thing. And I'm just gonna be annoyed. Yeah, clearance bureau. Yeah, that's a clearance implicated shipment. Okay, all right, cool. Let's see, what else do we have? Rocking cars, you have to avoid certain speeds with those unless told otherwise. There's something I actually did want to go over. Handbrake stuff, hazmat stuff. Okay, so this is something we learned on Friday. There's a hierarchy for rules and procedures. So rules, okay, is like the bottom, which is crazy to me, but it makes sense. But just like thinking about it, like, oh yeah, the rules are like bottom tier, okay? Then you got special instructions. That's like the hazmat thing that I was talking about. Those are special instructions. You also have like timetables and stuff. Those are special instructions. Um, then you got dispatch bulletins. Okay, those are above special instructions. And then the thing that supersedes all that is EC1s, which are issued um, by the dispatcher anyway, but it's like updated information, basically. Like if anything changes, then that is the new information. You go off that. Um, the biggest thing on here, honestly, if you communicate with your engineer well, or just communication in general with dispatch or supervisors, you'd probably be doing pretty good. Um, that's most of everything. A lot of it is like train documentation. Which, like I said, is this big packet here. Seems like a lot of info, but trust me, it's not. Like dispatcher bulletins here, which I've written on because there are certain pieces of information that are more important. Certain things that you do need to know that are nice to have. Apparently, a permission to pass a stop signal form, so that's cool. You got work orders. That's like your main thing. That's what tells you, like, hey, this is what you're doing. But yeah, that's all the material we've went over. There might be a couple small things in there, but that's the material we've went over so far. Now we're getting close to 15 minutes, so I'm gonna try to speed it up. Now here's what the life is like. Here's the daily routine. Here's what a lot of you might want to know. Is it hard? Not particularly. No, it's not particularly hard. I wouldn't call it particularly easy necessarily. You have to try, but you don't have to like give up everything in your life for it. Specifically being here in Atlanta. So it goes from 0700 to 1500. That's what the class times are. I want to say when you get out of class, you come back to the hotel. Very decent hotel. It's decent. It's decent. Beds are comfy. So you come back to the hotel. I usually get in the pool after, or go to the gym, just to relax, just not really think about stuff. And then at 6 p.m., that's whenever I've been holding our study groups, and that's been working out pretty good because after study group, usually we get a lot of work done, and then we bullshit for a while. And so I would say like it usually stretches to about 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 for kind of everybody to clear out, but usually about 2 hours. At that point, it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock comes around, people are ready to go back to their room. Like I am, I'm ready to go back to my room too. They go, call their family, talk to their spouses, and then it's kind of time to go to bed, right? Like you can see, I have this microphone here. I brought stuff to do. Like I have my laptop, I have my games, I have internet. Okay, but I've played probably a total of like an hour or two this last like total week. And honestly, I haven't missed it, right? I've been working, man. I've been working hard, making sure to do everything I can to to not just know the rules, because if you just want to pass and like become a conductor trainee like on the job and stuff and get to phase 2, you can do that easily. I probably wouldn't even have to take that many notes, right? But I don't really care about the quizzes and tests. Like the quizzes and tests are the entry point, not the end all be all, right? So for me, I'm writing all those notes down because I want to know them, right? I don't want to have to be like, oh, I didn't know that rule exists. I never even heard of it, right? I'm writing like every single thing in there. That is every single thing besides paperwork because we have a book for it. Besides paperwork, there's every single thing that we've gone over, almost verbatim. Okay, there's a couple times or a couple phrases that I just shorten a little bit, but it's almost verbatim. Is a lot of writing? Absolutely. But, or I'm not worried at least about the tests. I'm going to pass the tests. I'm going to pass everything. It's fine, right? What I want is to have these rules ingrained into my soul. Does that make sense? Because for me, and for a lot of especially older conductors, I know this isn't necessarily the case anymore from what I hear, but at least the old way of thinking, this is a craft, right? You can get better at your job, and that's really cool to me. That's how I've always treated things. Getting better at something is fulfilling to me. So that's why I want to get as good as I possibly can. I want to be as efficient as possible, as safe as possible, and as reliable as possible. Okay. That's the goal for me, because I want this to be a career. This is what I want to do. Now, that's not the case with everybody. Some people, they want a job. I also want a job, but it's a job that I think I will enjoy, and something that is a topic that I enjoy. That's why I'm not having a lot of problem really dedicating myself here, because I went to school, I went to college for a few years, and I hated every minute of it. For the most part, like the extracurriculars were great, super fun, but taking prereqs for classes whenever I didn't even care about them, right? Like taking an ethics class or like a sociology class for a mechanical engineering degree, that sucked. I hated it because I had no interest in it, right? So that's why this is a lot easier, because I'm interested in everything that we're learning about. I mean, you go to bed around like 9:30, latest like 11, and that's kind of pushing it, because then you're on like 6 hours of sleep the whole day, and you're learning a lot. So you really do want to get your sleep. I mean, like the difference between waking up well rested and like waking up a little bit groggy is huge throughout the day. Um, you do get 10-minute breaks every hour, give or take. Um, and that's nice. It keeps you fresh, but also for me, I've skipped a lot of them because I'm writing notes and I'm finishing notes and I'm going ahead in notes. I'm not necessarily going ahead like in stuff we're not going to talk about that day. I just go through, I write down the notes before we get to it. That way I can listen a little better to our instructor. Um, because there's a lot of people in the class right now that are going over stuff that we're not covering yet, which is fine. That's fine. It's just not something I'm going to do, because in all, like especially like signals is stuff everyone's worried about. I'm worried about it. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult. It is what it is. But at the same time, I don't want to go through and learn stuff the wrong way, right? If there's an easier method to the madness that seems to be signals right now, because I don't know it, then I want to learn it that way first. I don't want to learn it on my own and then be like, just guessing at it, right? There's a reason that they don't have you, or don't even mention learning signals until like weeks 3. Um, so that's why I'm not worried about it right now. I'm not gonna have a problem, um, like learning the signals at the pace we're supposed to learn them, right? Um, so the overall benefit of me waiting, I feel like, is better. Oh yeah, I guess that's important. Okay, so they got a lot of rules for when you're in the classroom, when you're in the halls, um, when you're going up and down stairs, or anything like that. And I don't blame them at all. I think these are totally fair. So to get you used to the environment that you're going to be working in, and also to make sure you're paying attention and not distracted, phones are a big no-no. And not even just like, oh hey, don't take it out. Like, hey, it's in your bag, it's turned off. You're not even gonna know if you got a call or something. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I don't think you need it. Like, I I adjusted pretty quick to that. A lot of people do, I feel like, but you're just, you know, can't be on your phone unless you're in the cafeteria or in the break room. And honestly, sometimes I don't even check it then, right? I might turn it on to see if I have any notifications and maybe text girlfriend. That's kind of it. I'll turn it right back off. Um, Same thing with the iPads that they issue you. We have issued iPads. These iPads are pretty cool. It's a full size iPad. Um, it's pretty thick, actually. Full size iPad. It's got a special CSX case on it. Comes with a pen. It's really in there. Let me tell you. I think everybody's was pretty tight in there, but comes with a cool little CSX pen that is questionable quality. As you can see, I can't. It's not going back in. So there we go. Got it. Um. So yeah, questionable quality pen, but it's an iPad. I think they can skimp out on the pen a little bit. That's kind of it though, right? Like, don't be distracted. Pay attention. Really take it serious. It's 4 weeks, and it's 2 weeks in the classroom. You can figure it out. Take a lot of notes. You're gonna want them, right? You do not want to have to carry or like have that. They have a book they give you that has all the slides that they go over. That way you know what they're going over without having to take notes. You do not want to have to be flipping through that rule book for 3 hours trying to study whenever finals come around. But I think that's all I got to talk about. I know it's a long video, but that's my first week in Atlanta. I will provide an update. End of week 2, probably. Even though I will want to like once I post this, I'm gonna want to do it daily. I'm not gonna do it daily. Have a lot of like worries about first day of OJT, first bit of being marked up, but apparently that's something that everybody, it's something everybody has to go through, and I just really don't want to, and I just want to magically know that I'll just have all the information, I'll retain all the information, I'll have no problem adjusting to that, and unfortunately, there's gonna be something. There's gonna be something for everybody, right? Like when you're dealing with engineers, when you're dealing with RCO stuff, dealing with those rules, dealing with supervisors, you're gonna mess up a little bit somewhere. So, but we're gonna try to prevent that. Provide you guys with an update end of week 2. I'll see you guys later.